Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we dive deep and answer the ultimate question: how did you hack into tech sales? Each week, we bring you inspiring stories, proven strategies, and insider tips from top performers who've cracked the code to break into tech sales and thrive. Whether you're just starting out, making a career pivot, or ready to level up, this is your go-to space for actionable advice and real-world success stories. Let's crack the code together, because hacking into tech sales isn't just a dream, it's your next move. Now with your host, the founder of Tech Sales Funnels and the tech sales hacker himself, Dayvisson da Silva.
All right, everyone. Welcome to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast. This is Dayvisson da Silva, the tech sales hacker, your host. And today I have a very special guest, Mariel Vargas. In fact, she's also Brazilian, but we're going to be recording the whole podcast in English. Do not run away if you don't speak Portuguese, it's totally cool. We might drop one or two Portuguese words here, but I'm super excited to talk to Mariel. I came across with her on LinkedIn. She, I believe she was a post or something. I just reached out to her and we connected, and since then we're now virtual friends. We never met in person, but I'm super excited to interview her today. Welcome, Mariel.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here. It's an honor to be here in this podcast. And it's so cool, the power of network, right? We have never met in person. And I did one post in LinkedIn and we created this connection. And we already had so many different interactions, brainstorming, exchange of ideas, and now this podcast. So it really shows like the power of LinkedIn, the power of network. And it's an honor to be here.
Yeah, so I even before this podcast, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. So everyone, Mariel has an amazing story. Please connect to her right away on LinkedIn, and you see what I'm trying to say. But let's just start at a high level, Mariel. Can you tell a little bit about you, your story, at a very high level? Let's forget a little bit about AI and the whole tech sales industry. Who is Mariel?
That's a good point. Yes. It's hard nowadays to forget a little bit about AI, but it's important. So, yeah, I'm very also Brazilian. I came to the US when I was 17, so 12 years ago, and I came just to learn English. Um, but when I got here, I got really impressed on all the educational system that the US had, and I decided to start applying for colleges and universities. So then I applied. I went to college here. I started doing internships. In total, since I've moved to the US, I've moved cities 7 times between different
Wow.
schools, masters, my graduate program, my different internships, different full-time jobs. And then now, finally, I live in the city that I chose to live. This is the first time that I chose the city. I was like, that's where I want to live. And I live in San Diego, California, and I feel very lucky to be able to build this life. And I feel like we create our own lives. And after 7 times moving and 12 years in the US, I now move in my dream city. I live in my dream city, so it's pretty exciting.
Wow. So yeah, San Diego, nothing. An amazing location. I have been there before. Why did you choose San Diego though? Why was it your dream location?
I tell my friends that I'm powered by the sun. I'm so, I have a solar panel, in my house. So I live somewhere where there's a lot of sun. So that's why. So I was in Chicago. I was living in Chicago for 6 years, and I love Chicago. It's an amazing city. I love the people there, but it was just too cold for me. So
Mm.
being able to be by the ocean, and I keep looking at my window because this is one of the reasons why. It's because I can see the ocean right here
Oh
in
my
the window
gosh!
in my
Stop
office,
it!
and it's
That's a
sunny. And as soon as I close my computer, I go to the beach, and there's
wow.
just nothing that can beat that for me. The ocean is really like keeps my life balanced, keeps my I feel like it's my well being, being close to the ocean and being able to be by the beach brings me so much happiness.
That's amazing. So I grew up by the beach in Brazil. and I miss
Where
it a
did you
lot
go again?
in Recife.
In
Recife,
Recife. I love Recife.
yeah. So every time I go to the beach in US, like I'm like, oh, I tell my wife all the time, let's move to Florida or whatever. Like, she's from California, but the other side, the not the nice side, the Bay Area. But
Yeah.
that's so good. You like you came to study English. So I resonate with that a lot because I was also an international student. Same thing, came to study English and then started, my career, going to college and all that. It's not easy. It's not easy. And you probably miss home and friends and family and all that kind of stuff. What was the biggest challenge for you transitioning to from Brazil to build a career here in US?
Yeah, that's a great question. For sure, the biggest challenge is to have my family far away from me. The first time that I came to the US, I never thought that I was going to move my entire life here, but really the opportunities and the doors for education, for work opportunities kept on opening up, and I stayed. And really, I'm so thankful for this country for all of the opportunities that it has given me. But having the family far away is for sure the number one hardest things that I have to deal with and to live with. And as I feel like it's a Latino thing, we're like super family oriented,
Mm,
and I'm very lucky to have a family that's very close to me and we're super close. And yeah, having them far away and missing a couple. I think the hardest things is missing a couple key moments. Like that's birthday, family
mm.
holiday. This is for sure the hardest thing.
Yeah, it's like a give and take, right? It's a huge
Yeah,
opportunity to be working here, and at the same time, there's a trade off. I 100% hear that.
yeah,
How can you tell us a little bit more about like your? Let's dive a little bit deeper into your career. A lot of people are here listening to this podcast today. They want to hear who is Marielle, what she's doing. AI. She's an AI consultant. Tell us a little bit about your journey, and how did you get here to this amazing opportunity at Microsoft, and then let's talk about what's next and like, all the kind of stuff.
yeah. The journey has been crazy intense, and I have learned a lot along the way. And I feel like everything that I've done in my educational career and my professional career has played a role to get me where I am at today. So gonna it's a big timeline, so I'll give like quick highlights, right? And trying to highlight the points that really brought me to where I am today. But
Yes.
basically, when I first came to the US, I studied in a high school in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee. When I say Chattanooga, Tennessee, people were like, "Wait, what? That sounds very random." But basically, I chose the country and the family chose me. And right there, I already had connections that helped me be where I am today. So, for instance, in the high school that I was working, I became friends, or I had a good connection with the principal, and he
Mm,
wrote me a recommendation. And because I was a senior at high school, in this high school, I was able to take the SAT, I believe it's called. I can't
yeah.
remember anymore exactly.
Basic. Yeah.
It's the SAT that they take in the last year of high school. So I took it with my class, and I was super nervous because my English was terrible, but my mathematics was super good. So even though I didn't get a really good grade in English, I got like way above average grade in math and science. And so I was able with that test and the principal recommendation to apply for colleges.
Oh
So
wow.
we never know how much the people that we talk to and the people that we meet can play a role in our life. We never know who is the next person who's going to open a door for us. So
Mm,
it's really important to give give your best every time you are doing something and you're showcasing your work. So that is how I was able to apply for universities. Then in my university, I built a lot of connections. I was always very community oriented. So I studied industrial engineering. For
mm,
immigrants, if there's any immigrants that are listening to this podcast, it's very helpful to study something in the area of STEM, science, technology, education, and mathematics, because that will help people get jobs and get a longer period of working with them. But
Yes.
I always loved mathematics, so I went to industrial engineering. I joined the Institute of Industrial Engineers as the VP of events. So I was doing all of these events, and I was invited to be the president of the honors side of industrial engineering. That opened a lot of doors for me because
Mm.
I was the one planning our industry night. So I was the one bringing companies and recruiters to talk to students. So I
Wow.
basically had every recruiter contact that was to my university. Then um, it was easy to find my first internship. Of course, it's never easy, but I had an extra role, an extra layer. I needed the company to sponsor my work visa. So it
Mm.
was an extra layer. Um, but when I finally got it was when I received a fellow for a big conference in Miami. Everything paid. I
Wow.
went to this big conference and it was amazing. And there I met one manager from Kellogg
Mm.
that he saw my resume and he was like, "You are the perfect candidate for our IT internship." And I
Oh,
had never thought about working in IT. I was like, really engineering. I thought I was going to be doing like
interesting.
quality control. And he was like, your innovation background is great for this. You're going to learn everything about uh, design challenge and how to innovate faster. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. So you
Wow.
see, like you never know where the next opportunity is going to be. If I wasn't involved in those communities, I was probably not going to get the fellowship, probably not going to meet that manager that really opened the door of Kellogg's to me. So then that was the first internship. I went back there for 2 summers, and then they hired me full time.
Wow.
And working in IT at Kellogg is really where I figured it out my passions. Because I started within IT governance, which was what I was working. I started learning about technology deployment and change management,
Mm.
and I fell in love with it because it's really working, understanding people's mind. Because basically, the principle of change management is what's the strategy, right, behind the implementation that we're going to do in each company and how to make people go along with you in
Adapt.
that change journey, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about change management when I was in college, and I fell in love with it in the day to day. And I started working uh, with Kellogg and implementing Microsoft technology.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes, and that's when the world of Microsoft opened up
Oh.
for me. And I
Oh
was like,
wow.
wow. And I remember I became like the number one fan of Microsoft. They would send me to conferences, and I was always so amazed and so engaged. And every time I went to a conference, I came back and I was just so excited about everything I learned. I remember one time they sent me to one of the major Microsoft conferences,
Mm.
which was Microsoft Ignite. And they
Yeah.
sent
You know.
me and a couple other people at Kellogg. But when I came back, I was just so excited. I was like, oh my God, I did all of this. And then the CIO, she told me, why don't you present everything you learned to the entire IT department? So
Wow.
sometimes your passion it speaks a lot louder than
Wow.
anything else. She saw my passion, and I remember that was a mark for me at Kellogg, a milestone, because I presented in front of the entire IT department about what I had learned in Ignite. And I I had I wasn't full time already. I was not an intern anymore, but I was like really early in my career, so that was a big milestone.
That's
And then
amazing.
yeah,
Wow. So
and
from two internships to a full time offer. International students listen to this. Oh, this is a masterclass of how to get a job. It's so hard, and then you have to get the OPT. That's the and graduating in STEM. You get like a 3 years, I believe.
yeah,
Um, so a lot of nuggets here, and a lot of people don't think about those things because they don't have to go through the entire immigration process, right? But that's a
Yeah.
very unique career right there, all the way to Microsoft. So I'm assuming already that because you're so passionate about Microsoft at Kellogg's, and then you start networking at Microsoft, and what happened next? Like, how did you end up on your dream job at Microsoft? Can you tell us a little bit more? How did you hack into Microsoft? How did you get that job?
Yes, yes, and it's actually a very interesting story, and it goes back to the that phrase that I said in the beginning that we never know who is going to be the person to open the next door for you in your
Mm,
life. So I started growing this technology community inside of Kellogg's because I saw the gap, right? We needed a community to really be able to have a very robust implementation project for every technology. And I started growing this community inside of Kellogg, and I started working with a lot of Microsoft people. And I worked with one CSM at Microsoft, and I loved working with her. I loved her style, but she left the account very quickly. So she only worked with me for 2 months. And
mm,
she left, and like Microsoft has a lot of rotation, so she left. And I didn't wait, I had her on LinkedIn, but I did not talk to her for 2 years. We only had a 2 month project. That's it.
wow,
So that's what I was saying. Like, make sure you never know who's gonna be the person. And then she messaged me on LinkedIn 2 years later. And she
wow.
said, Mariel, I don't know if you remember me, but I became a director at Microsoft and I think you should apply to my team. And I was like, wow, like I I do remember you. I remember it was short, but I just love to work with you. And I was not looking for a new job. It was actually during COVID, and I was
Mm,
actually very frustrated because Kellogg was going to send me to England
mm,
for a new project, but because of COVID, that got shut off. So
mm,
I was like, this thing that I was, my expectation had built up, it was going to be the next step in my career. That was that changed. So when the Microsoft opportunity came up, I was like, wow, this is the best possible next step in my career. And it
wow.
was such a natural transition. When I told Callum that I was moving to
Mm,
Microsoft, they were like, when I told them, oh, I am going to another company, they were like, is it Microsoft? Because I was so passionate about my work and my
yeah.
implementation projects. That was just a very natural transition. Um, I applied to the role, and one thing that I always tell people when they ask me, "How did you came in? How did you got into Microsoft?" And I always tell them, let your passion shine through and let your most authentic self out there. Because really, in the interview process, from my experience, what I felt is that they were trying to see if I was a good fit for the
Hmm.
company. And it's really important for you to just make sure you're passionate. Your passion is shining through, and you're not trying to be somebody that you're not. You're just showing who you are, and you're eager to be there, and how you can quickly learn, adapt, and your willingness to grow within the company. And I think that was a big differential point for me. Um, and I got a job. It was one application, one
Wow.
position, and I got the job.
Did you ever? Wow. So that's amazing. By the way, everyone, by invitation, getting an interview. Um, so it was a recommendation. She was highly qualified already, and she just had to, to make a connection, right? Be a good fit, and did an amazing job. Got the offer. Did you dream? Did you ever dream like so? Growing up in Brazil, as an international student, like when you came to US, did you ever dream about working for Microsoft, or was just like it just happened?
Yeah, no, that was not. I never thought I was gonna um, get like I it wasn't like, oh, I need to go to this company. I was just so focused on my passions and my work and doing my best. And when it came to be, it really felt like a dream come true. Um, but it was more from my own investments and the focus on doing my best work. It was
Mm,
never like I I need to get to this company specifically. It was just focusing on my passions, working on them, and the transition came naturally. That's kind of how it happened for me.
I love that.
But growing up, I never thought that I was going to be working at Microsoft at some point and living in my dream city and having all of these experiences. These were things that I never thought I was going to be doing, and it's amazing to, and I'm very grateful to be able to do this now.
That's awesome. I feel the same when I I work for IBM and Microsoft, but growing up and then even as an international student, I didn't have like a dream to. I just wanted to perform and do well and get a good job. That was kind of my goal, and stuff just aligned at the right timing. So that's I love your story. I love your story. How about like being a Latina immigrant in corporate America? How's that?
Yeah, so that I I've been really grateful to have had a lot of support in the companies that I've worked with. So at Kellogg, I've had so much support in Microsoft. There's so much support for women in IT. But many times I've been the only woman in the room, right? Especially in IT implementation projects with my customers. And I'm a lot of time the youngest one in the room as well. So you need to understand, or I started understanding that the first time people see me, oh, this girl is coming into the room. Can she actually help me? So you need to go over that initial first impression and really create that connection. In my case, so when I came in at Microsoft, I was a CSM, right, customer success manager. So I had big
Mm,
portfolio of consumers. So I had to learn how to show my work and have those. I always tell people, show them the small wins in the beginning to gain their trust. I
mm,
always felt like the jump to win their trust as a Latina woman and young was a little higher because they wouldn't trust me right away very quickly. So I had to really focus on gaining their trust in the beginning and building that relationship. But the amazing thing when you build a relationship with a customer, when that relationship is there, everything just becomes
mm,
so much easier. It's like magical. As soon as they start trusting you, you show them. Yeah, in the beginning, they a lot of times not it's not a rule, but they don't answer all of your emails or they reschedule calls, especially when they don't see value in your calls,
mm,
right? So if you schedule a call with your customer just to talk about something that is not truly valuable for them. So one of the things coming in from Kellogg and going to Microsoft is that I came as a customer to a CSM. So I knew
mm.
the conversations that I had with CSMs that had been impactful to me. You know?
Interesting.
So when I
Yeah.
was a CSM, I wanted to make sure that every time I set the customer in front of me, they were getting value because everyone has a big, like a busy agenda, right? So I always did feel like the jump to gain their
Wow.
was a little higher, but when I was able to gain the trust, the magic is just amazing. Like it's really magical how the work just starts flowing. It's all about the relationship. At least in my field and my experience was always about the relationship that I was able to build with these customers.
No, man, I forgot to make that connection that you were a customer, then you became the CSM of multiple customers, and that experience itself is just gold, right, for
Yeah,
Microsoft. Like
yeah.
amazing. Do you um? So let's shift a little bit here. Like I know you recently went through like a really hard challenge. I will let you, talk about that and
Yeah,
how do you do turn around, right? Like that's been amazing. So if you can share that experience with us, it'll be like a masterclass for people going through, the same.
yeah, no, thank you. Yes, so this is the latest development in my life. Um, and it's crazy how life always teaches new things, right? And here I am living my dream city, having working in my dream company, and then life has ups and downs. So one day, July 2nd, Microsoft had a massive layoff wave, 9,000 employees, and my role got eliminated. And that was a big punch in my stomach. It was just something I was not expecting. It came out
Wow.
of nowhere. And as an immigrant, I had extra layers that I had to deal with, right? So with um, as an immigrant, you have 2 months to find another job. But Microsoft gave me 2 more months. So basically, I had 4 months to find another job. If not, I would need to leave the country. So you are
Oh
here
wow.
like for 12 years, living your life, and then out of a sudden, you have 4 months before you have to leave the country. Leave, like, this is my house. Like I had just moved in April. Like, how do you leave everything behind? What do you do? So it was a very stressful moment. But
Mm.
one thing that I learned and that I've been learning all until now, I'm still in the process, is do everything you can do and deal with the present moment. Because if you keep on thinking on, oh my God, it's 4 months, it's gonna approach, the
Mm.
anxiety is gonna build up and you're not gonna be able to take the steps to actually get things done. So I mapped out, okay, what do I have to do? First thing that you have to do is deal with the layoff. There's a lot of paperwork. You need to read yourself the packet. You need to understand. There's a lot of steps that you have to do. So first step is that. And then I talked to my manager, I talked to everyone I could at Microsoft and how they could help me. So I started mapping where I want to go next. So I took
Mm.
one day to really understand. And I hadn't done that exercise in a long time to understand where do I want my career to go. And then when I had that very clear on my mind, I did a post on LinkedIn about my layoff. And in the same post, I told them I'm looking for positions in these areas. And I
Mm.
linked my resume and a couple of the things and projects that I had done. So I put in my LinkedIn channel, I uploaded articles that I had posted, I put everything in one kind of website link, summarized, posted on LinkedIn, said I had laid off. And my post basically, I mean, the average of my post went viral. I had over 500,000 impressions on that post.
Wow.
I had over 2,000 people clicking on my resume,
I think that's
and
how I found you for the first time. I think that's how I
that was
saw.
how I
Right?
got connected to you.
Yeah.
I got connected with so many incredible people,
Nice.
and I was an amazing experience, and it was really seeing the power of network coming like so strongly. And every single message that I received gave me more energy to keep going. And in no time, I was scheduling multiple interviews every week. Um, I was talking to people from companies that I didn't even know before, people that I worked with years ago that I
Wow.
didn't remember of. They were reaching out. I was connecting with multiple people from my entire career, college, masters, Kellogg, Microsoft. I was connecting and we like catching up. I got free mentorship. You gave me a free mentorship call. I got other folks to offer me a free resume um, help. One of my friends did a free photo shoot, a professional photo shoot, so I
Nice.
could have new professional pictures. My people were asking me, "Oh, what are you doing with your free time now that you got laid off?" I had no free time. I was like, no free time. I'm doing my mentorship. I'm fixing my resume. I'm building my website. I'm doing I'm talking to people nonstop. And then
Wow.
um, in 15 days after being
15
laid
days.
off, I got my first verbal offer. So it
Wow.
was not a final offer, but it was my first verbal offer. I went, I did an average of 20 interviews. Um,
Wow.
I Yeah, in 1 month and a, or 2 months. When did I sign? I signed it up.
Yes.
When did, it was like um 2 months, or yeah, close to 2 months after being laid off. I signed an offer. I'm very excited.
Wow.
It's a smaller company. It's called CAI, but um, I am so excited about the growth opportunity in this role. It's a better pay. It's a more senior position. And I am the first AI consultant in this company. So there's a lot of
Wow.
to build. Uh,
Amazing.
I am going to report to the VP of AI solutions, and he wants my help to build this AI consultant team. So it's a lot of room for growth. I see a lot of opportunities to really grow my leadership skills. And I can't wait to get started. I'm really so excited. And it's a big step in my career, something that when I got laid off, I didn't think it was going to happen. I just
Wow.
was like, I just need a job, right? But then when I took a step back, really cleared my mind on where I want to be next in my career, really looked at all my trajectory. It didn't happen with everything I've done in my life before. I was like, oh, I want to land something that makes sense because I'm a very passionate person. I cannot be working somewhere that I don't see fit with my passion. I'm just not going to be excited, and I'm just not going to be productive, and I'm going to be frustrated. So I could not land somewhere that I just didn't see fit, and that was very key to me. Um, so finding an opportunity is just so exciting, and it just this whole process has taught me so much and has opened my mind so much to see how many opportunities and how big the market is. It's harder now, but at the
Hmm.
same time, there are a lot of new careers and a lot of good people out there that are looking for good people. So if you are somebody that's passionate and know what you're good at, there is a space for you out there. It may be hard in the beginning, but there is a space for you out there.
Wow. Congratulations. I was just having goosebumps here as you speaking. Amazing turnaround. Very fast. Not unusual, I would say. But something that you said before you start telling that story, that you're like you're trying to live the moment. You're trying to live like one day at a time in doing
One
the
day
things you
at a
can
time
control, right?
and one task at a time. This is a big learning from this layoff because I was like, I need to do this, and this one day at a time, one task at a time, and you're gonna go much further.
That's awesome. That was the biggest reason I wanted to interview you here, and I'm glad that we got to that point. Is that my biggest hope for this podcast is to give people's hope, and your story is it's an amazing story, going from an immigrant, going from a Latina in corporate America, going from landing a dream job and learning how to turn around what seems to be a bad situation into a much better opportunity. We never know, right? In life, as long as you're trusting that you're doing your best, you just have to move on.
Yes. And one thing that was important through this process, I never, I made sure to keep my mind in the right place. I kept going to the beach. I kept
Go with
doing
the
my
sun.
course. I'm training for my first 70.3. I have first half Ironman next month. So I still had my workout. And you really need to make sure that your mind is in the right place, especially if I had one of the weeks I had like 7 interviews in one week.
Wow.
So you really need to keep your mind in the right place, even through the hard days. I think that was one thing that I learned a lot is learn where is your safe space. For me, is my triathlon workout. When I'm swimming, when I'm running, when I'm biking, it's my therapy. It's what works for me, right? Very personal for each person. But knowing what's for you making sure that you with your routine, that you're getting sleep, that you're taking care of yourself, so you can show up in your best self. If you're going through a similar situation or a hard situation.
Thanks so much for sharing your story, Marielle. I hope I don't hope I know it's going to inspire a lot of people. Whoever's listening to this right now, I'm going to be sharing. If they're going through a layoff, I'm going to hey go check Marielle Vargas' interview and masterclass here to close. I know it's hard to close this conversation. Being really good. I told you
especially
it was going to go by fast. Say again.
especially to Brazilians, we love talking.
I know we're very chatty here. Um, can you give it like a final piece of advice? Any who's trying to develop their career in IT, especially in this world of AI, and that you're gonna be. I tell people all the time, there's a huge wave of opportunities come with AI, and you just mentioned you're gonna be opening a whole new department. Um, just final advice here for people who are trying to ramp up careers in tech sales or even in consulting, in sales, or trying to get into tech sales.
Yes. What has really worked for me, right? I think are two things. Always give your best. You never know who is the person who's gonna open up the doors for you, right? So when Davis connected with me, I had no idea that we were gonna be recording the podcast. Um, Make sure to be genuine. In the era of AI, everything is ChatGPT, but the power of human connection is unmatched. So be your true self. Follow your passions. I know that within work, sometimes we need to be strategic in our careers, but make sure that you are working at a company that you're aligned or a role that you're aligned. If you're not there yet, learn where it is and guide your career through that so you have a goal to look at. And then finally, build your personal brand. I feel
Mm,
like for me, storytelling has been a um, very important piece in this journey because being able to tell my story was what brought the network and connected me to the right people that brought me this amazing opportunity that I have right now. So we the power of network is unmatched in our personal lives, in our professional lives. So make sure you are telling your story and you're building your personal brand and you're making those connections. The connections that you make, especially in your professional life, especially if you're going through a layoff, the network changes everything because the roles that are applied without a personal connection didn't never end
mm,
without a connection. Yeah, it's really hard to get in this specific case of the layoff. But really, the general advice here is make sure you know the power of networking in the professional world. Build up your LinkedIn, make a post a month at least. And this is advice for myself. I need to get better at that. But yeah, your personal brand and tell your story.
I love it. Wow. Thank you so much, Marielle. Amazing story. Um, do not forget to build your personal brand if you want. This is a must, especially in this era of AI where everything now is mudded. You don't even know who's real, who's not. That's the time. There's no hiding behind, your personal brand, your life, your story. Congratulations, Marielle, on your new journey. Super excited for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can't wait the things, to see the things you're gonna do, right?
Yeah, thank you. I
That's
really
awesome.
appreciate you. I really appreciate you having the time for me to come here and speak. And yeah, I can't wait to you go. You are super focused on everything you do, and it's amazing to see everything you're doing. So I'm super excited to see this episode, but also all the future episodes that you put out there.
Thank you so much. And that's all for everyone today. Mariel Vargas, go connect with her on LinkedIn, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
and one last thing, if you felt um, if you connected with my story, if you related with my story in any way, and you think there's something that I can help you, please don't be shy. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'll be more than happy to help anyone going through a situation
I
like
love
mine.
that. I love that. Okay, I think. Okay. Thank. Well, for 1 second, we lost connection, but I think we're good. Thanks so much, everyone. That's all for today.
Thank you all. Bye bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Sales Funnels podcast, where we crack the code and uncover the strategies to break into tech sales. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who's ready to hack their way into this exciting career. Remember, hacking into tech sales isn't just a goal, it's a mission. Let's keep hacking, learning, and winning together. Catch you next time.